Hey guys, my name is Mike Shore from C&M Rental Property Management. So today I wanted to talk to you about how to choose a property management company. I think that this is one of the most important relationships in your real estate enterprise when you're basically trying to grow your business or maintain your business. At the end of the day, it's all about peace of mind for you. You want somebody that you can trust, somebody that can take care of your assets, and somebody that can basically allow you to sleep well at night. So I have some top tips here that can kind of help you when you're trying to interview property management companies and being able to evaluate them and find out if this is a good fit for you. So one of the first questions I would always ask is, are you licensed? So in New York State, you have to be a licensed broker in order to manage properties. If for some reason a person that you are working with approaches you and they tell you that they are not licensed, run. The reason why is because the whole reason for having licensing is to have a certain standard to what these people are held to, and that they are educated properly on how best to work with their clients and be able to have a fiduciary responsibility to be looking out for your best interest. So you can easily find out if somebody's licensed or not by looking on the Department of State website. In addition, you can ask this particular person that you're talking to what their brokerage name is or what license that they are under. Like, again, if they say that they are not licensed, I would not work with them. It would leave you open to liability issues in the future in managing your properties. So what is your vacancy rate and average days empty for an apartment? So at the end of the day, time is money. And if a potential management company has a high vacancy rate, that can mean that they're doing a bad job placing tenants, or screening, or other issues may be at play. So for example, I would kind of be shooting for the 10% mark. For our company, for example, we actually tend to be a little bit lower than that, which is good. How that actually happens is because we, on average, do not raise the rents significantly over time. We usually wait for the tenant to move out, and in occasions when we believe that the market is significantly below the market, we will increase it, or we will advise the owners that we want to increase it. So this allows the tenants to stay in there longer, and in addition to that, it allows less chance of turnover, which in the end is going to make you more money. You would say, hey, well, an extra $20, well, that could be good per month. Well, not if that costs you to be vacant for a month or whatever. So that's something you need to take into consideration. So the average days empty for an apartment, I would be shooting for less than 20. And I know 20 sounds like a lot, but think about it this way. What happens if you have a tenant that is terrible and they won't let you in until essentially they've moved out? So we go in there, we do the final inspection, the final walkthrough. We find some work that needs to be done. We bring that to your attention. We ask for approval for certain things. Then we need to get a team out there. And then once the work's all done, then we're ready to show. And then that means people need to start booking appointments. So, I mean, that can take a little bit of time. So if somebody's like going multiple months, where a unit is vacant, that tells you that there's a major issue. Usually that means that they're having problems showing the property. So meaning that maybe their marketing is not good, maybe the way that they market. So ask them how they're marketing their properties. Or they may have a repair team that's way behind. You need to ask them these questions. These are the kind of questions I'd be asking in order to find out if a company is a good fit for you or not, and if they have the experience to handle your investments. So one of the other questions I ask is, have you handled evictions or bad tenants before? If so, do they have a team that helps owners with legal issues? This really gets at the heart of whether they have experience or not. I've been in this game for a long time, over 10 years now. And I've had investment property all during that time, and I've managed for others. You're going to get bad tenants. There's no doubt about it. They're going to get in. Regardless of how much screening, how much background check, how much whatever you do, they're going to get in. And so at a point, you're going to have to evict somebody. Or somebody lost their job. Their husband lost their job, or they got a divorce and they can't pay the rent. Well, they're just trying to hang on. And what are they going to hang on to? They're going to hang on to the property as long as they can because they have no place to go. So you're going to have a property management team that's experienced in dealing with evictions. Either they need to evict them or they need to have a third party that they can reference you to that can take care of your eviction needs. And also, I would ask them how they handle bad tenants that are not paying, that are delayed. How are they handling that? How do they follow up? What's their plan? I mean, at the end of the day, if a tenant doesn't want to pay, a tenant doesn't want to pay. It's going to be very hard to get them to pay, but there are definitely ways we can encourage them to get them to pay or to quickly get them out of your property so that way you can get your asset back, making you money, and get somebody in there that will pay the rent. So how do they handle repairs? So many property management companies use third-party companies. So their quality is usually not that good. And as far as getting people to be available, it's kind of difficult. So in many cases, we have seen property management companies say, oh, well, they'll take 2 weeks. The reason why is because that other person that they're having to do the work is out doing other work for somebody else. So for us, for example, we have a team that we work very closely with. They are a separate company, but we work very closely with them, and they handle all of our property management needs as far as the repairs. And so you really want to understand the reputation of the work that's being done by these teams, because essentially they're the ones that are going in and taking a look at your place to see how the work is being done and what the issues are with the tenants. Again, the other thing is you also want to ask, how am I going to be charged? So am I going to get to prove the work that's going to be done? A lot of property management companies will immediately bill you for the work. They'll just go out, they'll see the work, and they'll just do it. They won't ask you for permission. So that's something you need to ask them about. Hey, am I going to be able to give approval for work to be done? Like for us, for example, we ask that we get approval from our owners unless there's a standing agreement that says, hey, if it's under $500 or whatever, no approvals needed. The reason why we do this is it gives you a good idea of what's going on at your property, and you can see the amount of work that's being done. Again, we're only going to be able to recommend work that we think is going to add value to the property or keep the property in good condition. Usually we will recommend two different things. We'll recommend a quick fix and we'll recommend a long-standing fix. Usually the long-standing fix is going to cost more, but in the end, if we do a better fix, we will have less issues in the future. So these are some of the kind of tips that I would give in order to evaluate a property management company. Of course, one of the other things I would ask is for references. I would ask a property management company for references from some of their other clients that they have. In addition, I would also look at reviews or see what organizations that they are also affiliated with. Again, don't take every review that's online as gospel. And the reason why I mention this is think about the way reviews work. Even like Glassdoor, say as a job. Are you going to put a positive review out there if everything's hunky-dory? No. You're not going to put any review out there. Usually, you're going to see a lot of negative reviews when some folks have a bad experience. And what my recommendation is for this is to talk to the company. If you see lots of negative reviews or even just a couple negative reviews, ask them about them and say, hey, what was this situation? And try to understand it. Because the reason why I mention this is that essentially there's two sides to every story. And you really want to be able to find out based on talking to that property management company, hey, what happened? Was it a bad owner? Was it a bad tenant? Or was it just, did the property management company screw up? If the property management screwed up, see if they own it. See if they own it and they say, hey, look, we couldn't get a tenant in there. We had a hard time and they were upset. We tried to do the best we could, but it didn't work out. That right there, I'd rather take an honest property manager that told me that they admitted that they had made a mistake than a property management company that basically I find out 3 months later that the reason why they had that negative review is they lied about it. So I just think that honesty is very important in this industry, and I think that's something that you should focus on. Look at the reviews, but take them with a grain of salt. Talk to their references. Understand what value they're adding. The value that most property management companies should be adding to you is the peace of mind. Do you trust them or don't you? So if you have more questions, you can reach out to me. And again, my name is Mike Sherwood with C&M Rental, and I look forward to hearing from you guys.